Do you ever feel like you're just running on a treadmill? I mean, you're working harder than ever, you're putting in the hours, but you just can't seem to get ahead financially. You're always busy, but you're also always broke. This isn't just a feeling, it's a very real trap. And today, we're going to break down exactly how it works. It is such a frustrating question, isn't it? If hard work was the only thing you needed to build wealth, a whole lot more of us would be rich by now. But the reality is, so many people feel completely stuck, no matter how hard they pedal. And that feeling, it's actually a symptom of a very specific economic trap. And yeah, this trap actually has a name. It's called busy poverty. It's that awful cycle where your salary might go up a little bit, but the cost of everything else, rent, groceries, just living, it sprints ahead. So you end up always being busy, just trying to keep your head above water, never mind actually getting ahead. And here's the really important part to understand. This is not a personal failure. Seriously. It's not that you're not smart enough or that you aren't working hard enough. The argument here is that the system itself is kind of designed to make it incredibly difficult to save that first crucial pot of gold, that initial capital you absolutely need to start building real wealth. Okay, so if it's not just about working harder, then what is it? What's the secret? Well, there's a fundamental concept that really separates the wealthy from, pretty much everyone else. It's a key piece of the puzzle that completely changes the game once you finally see it. I know. When you see a definition like this, your eyes just glaze over, right? It sounds like it was ripped straight out of some dusty old economics textbook. The sum of the means of labor and the objects of labor. I mean, what does that even mean for you and me in the real world? It's confusing. So let's just cut right through all that academic jargon, the means of production. It's just a fancy way of saying tools that make you money. That's it. Tools that make you money, even when you're not actively working. That is the secret. And it helps to think about it with real-world examples. So for a farmer, their tools are the land, the seeds, the tractor, the things that actually grow the crops. For a factory owner, it's the building, the machines inside, the raw materials. For a restaurant owner, it's the kitchen, the recipes, the tables and chairs. All of these things are assets that produce value on their own. And this brings us to a really crucial point. If you don't own any of these money-making tools, then simply working harder as an employee is fundamentally a losing strategy for building wealth. Let's use an analogy. Think of it like this. You are the hen. Every single day, you go to work and you lay a golden egg. That means you create value, you solve a problem for a customer, you write some code, you make a big sale. But here's the key question. Who owns that egg? The farmer does, your employer. And in exchange for all those valuable eggs you produce, you're given just enough feed, your salary, to stay healthy so you can come back and lay another egg tomorrow. And here is the real kicker. Your salary is a fixed cost. It's just a line item on a spreadsheet for the company. So if the company has a record year and makes $1 billion in profit, your paycheck doesn't suddenly double, but the wealth of the people who own shares, a piece of the company itself, their wealth is directly tied to that profit. They get the upside. You don't. And this right here is the most dangerous part of the entire trap. When you only rely on a salary, your income is 100% dependent on you actively trading your time for money. So if you get sick, if you get laid off, or you just need to take a break, the money stops. Just like that. Instantly. That is an unbelievably fragile place to be financially. Okay, so how do we get out of this? How do we start owning these tools for ourselves? It all starts with a huge shift in how we think about money. It's about moving from being a consumer to being a creator or an investor. Just imagine two colleagues, right? They both work hard and they each manage to save up 500 grand. Colleague A goes out and buys a flashy new sports car. It's a consumer good, it's a toy. The second he drives it off the lot, it's worth less money. But colleague B, she uses that same 500K to start a small car service business. Those cars are now tools. They're assets that generate income every single day. See the difference? One path consumes wealth, the other creates it. So, knowing all this, how do we actually get out of the trap? Well, the good news is you don't need to be some genius inventor or have a massive inheritance. There's a clear 3-step plan that literally anyone can start following today. Okay, step 1. The mindset shift. This is everything. You have to stop thinking just about working for money and start thinking about how to make your money work for you. Step 2, start building your own small assets. Your skills are an asset.
Can you tutor? Create some online content? Do freelance work? Build an income stream that you own and control. And finally, step 3, you have to be relentless about saving and investing to build that initial capital, that first pot of gold.
Now, why is building that first pot of gold so unbelievably important? Let's look at the incredible power of time and compounding interest. So let's meet two people, Zhao Li and Zhao Wang. They both have the exact same plan: save $3,000 every month and invest it for an 8% return. The only difference between them is when they start. So let's start with Zhao Li. He decides to wait until he's 50 years old to get serious about saving, okay? He saves diligently for 10 years straight. By the time he turns 60, he's turned his $360,000 in savings into $520,000. Hey, that's a pretty respectable return. Not bad at all. But now let's see what his friend did. He starts way earlier at age 30. That gives him 30 years for his money to grow. By the time he turns 60, he has, wait for it, $3.7 million. No, that is not a typo. Just let that number sink in for a second. It's more than 7 times what his friend has, even though he didn't save 7 times as much money. So how on earth is that possible?
Let's break this down because this is so incredibly important. Zhao Wang, who started early, only invested 3 times more of his own money than Zhao Li, about $1 million versus $360,000. But his final result wasn't just 3 times bigger, it was exponentially larger. And the reason is simple. His money had an extra 20 years to work for him, to compound on itself, to grow and grow and grow. That is the magic of starting early. And this brings us to our final and maybe the most critical point of all. The single biggest advantage you have on your side is time, and it is the one thing you can never, ever get back.
We hear this all the time, don't we? It's the little voice of consumer culture, and it's constantly whispering in our ear. It tells you to reward all your hard work with spending: a new phone, an expensive vacation, a fancy car. And yeah, it feels good in the moment, but it's a message that's literally designed to keep you on that treadmill, spending what you earn instead of building assets that can set you free.
So many of us think, oh, I'll start investing when I have more money. But that's thinking about it completely backwards. The truth is, investing is the very thing that gets you more money. It's how you build the machine that works for you. So one day, you don't have to. So I'll just leave you with this one simple question to ask yourself from now on. Before your next big purchase, just stop and ask, is this a tool or is it a toy? Is this something that's going to help me build wealth and freedom, or is it a temporary pleasure that's just going to consume my capital? The moment you start consistently choosing the tools over the toys, that's the moment you begin your escape from the busy poverty trap.